All these colors are awful.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, they took out the fucking green one. God damn it. But anyway, it's extremely the point because Skyward Sword came out around the point this really obnoxious thing started of, you know, having, like, basically this kind of obnoxious thing of having, like, non-linearity be seen as, like, objectively better design, and linear is just, like, objectively bad and hand-holding and so outdated because it feels like a trip through Disneyland. Like, Skyward Sword was, incredibly, basically over hated because of this. I honestly believe...
Not the intended combination of buttons.
I honestly believe if Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild swapped places, their reputation...
Oh, yeah! Most of these are stamina.
They're all stamina. It's a reference to an arcade route from Street Fighter.
Old school fighting game, so I've got to actually,
I have to try. Hadouken! Hadouken! But anyway, like, I honestly believe that if Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild if their places were swapped around, their reputations would actually be mostly swapped. Because if they were swapped around, Breath of the Wild would have came out, like, Skyward Sword came out around the same time as Skyrim. Like I said, around the same time the industry got to this really obnoxious, like, open world, non-linear push. So I feel like Breath of the Wild, if it, again, had come out around that time, people basically, they would have hated it because they would have seen Nintendo as chasing the non-linear trend, and I feel like people would have actually realized the problems with non-linear design because the industry would be so oversaturated with them. So, because the game would essentially be lampooned for jumping on the non-linear and open world bandwagon, as the internet do, I feel like they would want the next thing to be in the complete opposite direction. So then enter the linear hand-holding Skyward Sword would probably be welcomed, because that's the only reason Breath of the Wild got as much praise as it did, is because it was it was a complete 180 from the linear hand-holding Skyward Sword. Because again, the internet made linearity into a dirty word for some fucking reason.
Aerial, like, 90%.
Did you focus attack dash cancel?
No. I was just...
Because we have a hereditary arthritis from our mother, I'm kind of terrible at fighting games, so I don't know any specific things with Ryu.
No, I was testing his aerials, and I was doing the one aerial, and I just punched
his aerials were, because Sakurai is a fucking mad lad, his aerials were designed in a way to have a form of knockback and hit stun to allow you to combo, moves into them to basically try and let you play Street Fighter in, fucking Super Smash Brothers, because, again, Sakurai is a goddamn mad lad. Anyway, that's my, pretentious over-analysis thesis statement for now. As I really do believe if the games were swapped around, their reputations would be mostly swapped.
Jesus! Fucking aerials. Really good. And because... Goddamn, I did want to comment on that. It's more about this ridiculous push that open world is suddenly better, even though open world is fundamentally flawed in a way that as
I've said before, I do hate talking in objectives because a bunch of game design YouTubers and shit, I feel like, do commonly talk like what they're talking about is an objective fact, especially considering a bunch of them is kind of what started the whole, you know, like, as I said before, it's like one of the 10 commands of gaming is to not have a linear game, but I feel the problems that exist in non-linear, they don't exist in a linear game. Because a linear game, when designed well, has a proper difficulty curve and scaling. Does every linear game have a proper difficulty curve and scaling? Fuck no. I said that's when they're designed well, but it is still less common for a linear game, basically, to have, like, a difficulty spikes or a few obnoxious things here and there than a non-linear one. Because, like, again, like...
Sakurai!
Like, another prime example, and now granted this is very, very much a first game syndrome, but look at the first Mega Man game, to where every stage is kind of hard, and none of them are really a good first stage.
Ryu's aerials are ridiculous in this mode.
Well, they're just ridiculous in...
No, but this is, you know, it's an HP bar!
Also, you're hitting his hard aerials, because remember, depending on how long you hold down the button, he'll have a light, medium, or hard attack, giving you access to the 6-button layout, which smashes 2 buttons, because again, Sakurai be a mad lad. And then if you put the actual commands for the Shoryuken, Hadouken, and even the Shoryuken, Hadouken, and the Hurricane Kick, because I refuse pronouncing its Japanese name, they will do more damage. I believe they're faster, and they have armor. Also, when you when you're using a curve...
Oh, come on!
Hey, let's be honest, the game is mimicking a fighting game, boss. I was waiting for that to happen. I knew...
Oh, yeah! God tier Ryu play!
Also, like, the most amazing part to this is that you have Ken as another character. The reason for that, this is a reference to, I think it was a special thing, I believe the first Street Fighter Alpha...
However, because it's still fucking HP based, I'm basically going to lose horribly.
Just don't get hit, scrub. But, like, look at the damage you're doing. Jesus Christ, look at that!
Or...
Jesus Christ! You know what I was going...
Or, you know...
That could happen.
Ah! Or whatever that was. You know what, guys? Just do that.
Anyway, my point.
I mean, I went from I'm totally going to lose this to did they just fall? Did I just went like?
Anyway, the point I wanted to make was the reason you had Ken as a partner in that was a reference to essentially at the end of I think it was Street Fighter Alpha, at the end of Ryu's arcade mode, there was a, special thing to where you would actually have a 2-on-1 team battle with Ryu and Ken fighting Bison.
The point about the non-linear, though, linear, if done right, and no one understands this, linear lets you do this glorious thing of you can actually...
Like you said, it normally has a proper difficulty, a curve, and actual scaling, because, you know, you're designed to play... Because you're designed to play stages...
Oh yeah, his is normal.
Huh? Oh.
It's percentage.
Yeah, because he's fighting the edgy rival characters. Ken works off basically, you know, same principle as Ryu. You can do, like, super versions of his moves, but Ken specifically has, you can't do the super version of the, I believe it's of the Hadouken, but because of that, he can do a better version of the Shoryuken, because Ken kind of became known for the Shoryuken. And then, like, there's another command, if you actually input the Street Fighter command, you can do that's this completely different attack of his, but I cannot remember what the command was. I think it was, like, portal, order circle back? I think you can actually pause and look at their street. That kick made the hothead bigger.
Everything makes the hothead bigger. Everything.
But, the power behind that made it increase in size. Everything makes it bigger, but not everything increases it that much.
He's got some good aerials, but it's kind of,
to play Ryu and Ken, you need to know how to play Street Fighter. Again, something I don't do, because it's very much its own argument for a different time, but I fucking hate inputting fighting game commands, because, again, on our mother's side, the family had this kind of hereditary, I think it was arthritis.
It's arthritis.
And that's kind of hereditary, so because of that, we kind of got a light, like, string of that.
Which I think...
to be fair, I do believe the years of playing video
games have
did actually, like, kind of... Well, I'm not a biologist, so I don't, you know...
I'm not a meteorologist.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, yes, I know a meteorologist.
It is something...
that studies meteors. Okay, now before... I know it's weather.
But because meteors fall from the sky, they are technically considered a form of weather. That is technically not wrong, I think. Anyway, my point was...
I'm just being a dick.
My point was that is because I'm not...
And we entirely lost our original point.
My point was that is because I'm not a doctor, I don't know any exact technical or medical terms, but I do believe the playing video games did result in it not being as bad as if you didn't, but it is still there, so still playing some games does result in my hands hurting. But again, that's an argument for a different time.
Damn it.
You know, I forget you can pick up the bombs.
Oh, damn it!
What was Ken's side special, actually? I don't remember. Oh, it is actually the Hurricane Kick. But, you know, the Hurricane...
Oh, I let go of the... Oh, come on! God damn it! Damn it!
Ah, the sorties.
Fuck you! To go back to the point we kind of lost in the shuffle there. Linearity, if done right, lets you get a progression scale. Open! Oh! Also, I want to comment on something.
Alright. Oh yeah, this.
They fixed it.
Yes. But now that made the stage kinda horrible. Because when someone is sent and flying now, like, the bullshit that can happen. Like that.
I just wanted to comment on the...
Mario Brothers is still an awful level.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not awful, but I like the wrap around.
Also, I wonder if they originally wanted to call this Red Hot Rumble, but then Capcom was like, we don't know what the fuck a Beautiful Joe is.
Damn it! God. Damn it.
Yeah. That.
Oh, come on!
The Red Hadouken there, that's the game doing one of the...
Oh, damn it!
That red input there, yeah, that's the one balance to the both of them. They hit like fucking truck, but their recovery is ass.
Yeah! Yeah, it is. I will continue to basically scream it from the rooftops. Linearity!
I will continue to scream it from the rooftops until people hear it. Hey look, there's that crazy guy screaming about non-linearity again from the roof. Should we call someone? Nah, he'll tire himself out.
Linearity is the better idea because linearity that you make fun of, to me, a video game should have, you know, scaling based on the point of the game. World 1-1 should be easier than World 8-1. That's just good logic. It shouldn't be, oh, World 1-1's kicking my ass, but what would be my 8-1 now that I'm so stacked because of the way that this game worked? It's like, oh, that was easy. Go watch
That was easy.
Breath of the Wild. The Breath of the Wild LP we have, compare the bullshit I have to deal with in,
This was a part where we really talk about it, but like the Goron Divine Beast, which hold on, pause.
okay.
Anyway, back to like saying this was a moment where you like talked about it because this, you know, it exemplifies it. It seems like the last one quote, like, seems basically the last one quote unquote. Like I believe most people will say the like Divine Beast order should be the like is it the Zora one first, and I think some people say do like the Goron second, the like Sky one third, and then the last one have that the desert. But I've actually, after the Zora one being the first, seen people argue basically what the next one should be because they all kind of have their own annoying thing. But like the Goron one, which I think we did end up doing next.
No, we did Goron last.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure we did it last because we did a blind run, but I was spoiled on a few sets of events that I was trying to even out based on some tips, and I knew that the lava-based gimmicks and nonsense were really stupid.
Because the Divine Beast takes place outside the, like, you fight it on, like, the outside and stuff, so because of that, you have to deal with the Death Mountain Heat gimmick, so you had upgraded the heat-proof armor to a point to where, like, that armor, you not only were immune to the Death Mountain heat, but to compensate for that, so the armor wouldn't be entirely worthless in other spots of the game, I think that armor has the most defense.
Tied most defense. Ancient armor and it have the same defense.
Oh.
They both max at 20 apiece.
But the point with that is because you basically had a maxed out set of Goron armor, and that is one of the most defensive armors. Isn't because it naturally starts with the Goron Mountain heat resistance. The standard fire resistance is the ability that one earns, meaning that fire attacks don't burn you.
No.
And you also have, like, farther reduced damage.
No, what they did, which the game is kind of unclear about, the Goron armor just can't be burned because it resists the Goron intense heat. So
what was the upgrade thing when you get every piece maxed out and learn the full set?
Its ability is the Goron heat protection. And remember, armor doesn't get an ability when you max it out. It's just better at what it was doing. Remember that. It just protects from volcanic heat. And by proxy, it stops burn damage.
But my point was all that.
And general fire damage, but that's also generally due to the extra defense.
But my point was that is the armor, because it is a set of armor that has the highest defense in the game, it was so maxed out, basically, that when we got to the Goron battle, the battle just kind of fell apart, because the entire battle, for one, the boss actually doesn't really do that much damage to begin with, because
No, he does a lot of damage, but the armor was so stacked.
No, I was going to say, apparently...
We also need to end this recording.
Yeah, that's my last point, apparently... Hey, they're beating up the cart.
Well, we got them all, right?
Yes. Yep.
Cleared all routes for Classic. Should have done that ages ago, but hey, we had more rambling.
Now we can get to World of Light! Yay!
Look at them all, guys. They're all here.
We did it.
Everyone is here. Even Isabel.
All except 72. The worst character.
Oh yeah, and then the cool little detail, the highest score is the costume you did it in.
Yes. Highest score.
So I left him alone, which in the recording...
Wasn't he one of the first ones we did?
No. He was one of the later ones, but in the recording, I said I wanted one character to use their default costume. So I picked Little Mac at random. But... That's cool. So I'll have to stop then. So... we kind of got the... enough of the points across where Breath of the Wild, if you watch my footage, because I'm the one playing, Carson was just commentating, you might notice, that stupid ice-based cannon. I'm just getting my ass kicked. I'm like, oh my god, this is so dumb. Goron, I'm stacked to hell. I get hit, I take half a heart of damage. Well, that was mildly inconvenient.
What I was going to say was apparently, the one Goron fight, I need to go look this up. To balance things out a bit more and not completely punish you if you decide to go through the Goron Divine Beast purely with, all those fire-resistant potions like a Mad Lad. Apparently, the Goron boss doesn't actually have a slightly lower damage output than the others to compensate for this.
But even if you want another good example... Wind Blight Cannon, I go in there with so many stacked arrow types that instead of doing the elaborate gliding around, I'm just in ancient armor. I'm just big arrows, big arrows, big arrows, and it's just killed over.
Does an ancient arrow one-shot a boss, or does it just take most of their health?
Ancient arrows... On a boss battle, I don't know, but I didn't use any. No, but not that we needed them. I just used, a really good...
I could just end this recording.
I'm about to! I just had to really harp on... It worked in reverse!
Yes.
And as a bonus point, as another good example, I fought Thunderblight Ganon with the rubber armor, which removed its ability to shock me and make me drop weapons. So, again, I feel that game got easier. And it's... Turned into Forky Pig for a minute there, but... Lenny, final point, to really kind of harp what I was trying to say, in case, it was kind of lost in the rambling. Linearity in a video game, if done right, lets it start off easy and get harder. Open games, unless it has an intended path that the game set up, and you're encouraged to, but are not forced onto, it often leads to very, very all over the place difficulty. Go watch me play Breath of the Wild, and you'll see that constantly. I was just trying to make a point that the game got easier, and when you're playing a game, you should not say that the last boss you battled was like so easy, but the first boss was ridiculous. But anyway, we really do need to go. I just wanted to finally finish off Classic Mode footage, because not a lot of people were covering Classic Mode, sadly. So
because World of Light's the big single player thing.
Yeah, but I really do like the routes in this. I mean, I really do.
A bunch of these have like the deepest references.
Yeah, but at this point we have rambled way too long. Sorry about that, but I wanted to somewhat coherently end with points, because I feel sometimes they get lost in the gameplay of me focusing and trying not to be an idiot. But this part is over. I hope you guys enjoyed every Classic Mode run, ignoring the DLC updates for additional Classic Mode. But the main footage here is every starting character from the basic game. But with all of that said, next time is probably going to be World of Light, and due to Sean and Brian having life complications, it's probably going to be me and Carson alone, unfortunately, but I guess that's just how life goes sometimes. But anyway, I need to fade into the end slate, so that's coming up in just a second. See you guys next time for what will likely be World of Light with just me and Carson, unless Sean and Brian happen to show up. Bye, guys! It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, what do you think of Ryu and Ken? In my opinion, these two are very interesting characters. The fact that you can enter actual fighting game commands from different Street Fighter games and actually get stronger versions of their special attacks is really interesting, in my opinion. Overall, I can't really use Ryu or Ken well. However, if you use them right, especially if you enter the command inputs, these two can do a lot of damage. And as a bonus point, Ken, despite being labeled as an Echo Fighter, has different movement speed, different frame data, and slightly different command inputs and attacks, making Ken more of a semi-clone, and yet they label him as an Echo Fighter. That always bothered me. But anyway, I'm rambling. You can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All my social media links and my Discord link are in the video description. Now, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and leave some comments. If you want to keep up with our videos, hit the subscription button and ring the notification bell. And if you follow me on social media, that helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. See you all next time.